Today's episode of PTG is brought to you by the one and only Trans Labs that brought the world two amazing products. First off, Transfuse, which is a hydration multiplier, and most recently, they just dropped Transcend, which is a nootropic energy formula. No matter what you use, when you choose Trans Labs, you are going to be boosted and you are going to be ready to charge the paintball field and win out there. With Transfuse, that is a premium rapid hydration multiplier and immunity fortifying formula scientifically designed to replenish you at the cellular level. And they use all natural ingredients in this product. We've got zinc, we've got vitamin B6, we've got vitamin C, sodium, potassium, choline, and it is an amazing way to make sure that you're hydrated and prepared to play top-level paintball. When it comes to Transcend, that is a premium nootropic energy formula designed to increase cognitive performance, elevate mood and clarity while supporting long-term brain health, and it's going to leave you feeling great with no crash or jitters. It's one of the only products in the nootropic space backed by research studies to ensure the formula is correct for optimal performance. It is more potent than anything on the market, and it will keep you charged and ready to win out there. I take 1 scoop, but if you're stimulant sensitive, take a half scoop, and if you want that LFG dose to launch to the moon, dump 2 scoops in your drink and you are going to be flying down that paintball field. Comes in 2 delicious flavors, Baja Blast and Skittles Candy for the Transcend. And for the Transfuse, they have 2 new flavors as well, Pineapple Express and Hawaiian Punched. So if you get a chance, head over to translabs.com. That's TRANZLABS.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME and you'll get 10% off. If you subscribe to a monthly delivery service, you also get 10% off as well. So you can take advantage of 20% off on these products. Head over to translabs.com and give it a go. This episode is brought to you by Lone Wolf Paintball. They are an amazing online supplier and have been around since the beginning of the game as Michigan's premier paintball field and paintball supplier since 1987. They are rapidly expanding into the online retail space and supplying everything you need to be the best paintball player you can be. They have got it all. Head over to lonewolfpaintball.com and shop all of your favorite brands. And they also boast amazing customer service and will have this out to you with same-day shipping, which is amazing. It's always nice to know that your stuff is on its way immediately so you can start to use it that very next weekend of play. Check out their YouTube, Lone Wolf Paintball, and their Instagram at Lone Wolf PB, and stay up to date with all of their deals and sales. Play the Game podcast is immensely honored to have them on board, and we cannot wait for you guys to check out lonewolfpaintball.com and become a part of their community. Mega drop alert. This episode is brought to you by HK Army. If you guys have not checked it out yet, head over to hkarmy.com. They just dropped a ton of new gear for 2023. The Sonic Loader, new laser barrel kits and tips, and my personal favorite, the Zero GX harness. I have been rocking this harness since World Cup and training with it a ton, and it is honestly the greatest harness I've ever used. The pod pack does not wiggle around and move at all. No matter how much paint you load into it, it's going to stay stable while you navigate the paintball field out there. It is a 4+3 pack. Traditionally, these can carry around 11 pods, but the Zero GX has 2 additional quick draw holsters for you to carry up to 13 pods. Now let's talk loaders. There have been a ton of new loaders released at Cup, and I'm sure a bunch of you are still wondering what to choose. If you're looking for something affordable and amazing, the HK Army Sonic Loader gets the job done, reaching 16 plus balls per second and coming in under $100. So all those fans out there adding paintball gear to your Christmas list and getting ready for the 2023 season, make sure to check out hkarmy.com for the new mega drop. Use code PTG and get free shipping on your next order. Go check it out.
What's going on, PTG Nation? Happy 2023. Hope you guys had an amazing holiday season and a fantastic new year. We're here to ring in the new year with an amazing episode with the young gunner Kelley out of Florida, who just made a huge move to Houston Heat. This was one of the better conversations I've had with a young player in a long time. Connor has an incredibly bright future. He's made a fan out of me. I've been a fan of his game since he came into the league with the way he approaches his attack, his aggression, and how relentless he is on the field. But now off the field, I see what a bright young individual this player is. So excited for you guys to hear this episode. And without further ado, we're going to hop in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon. Great shot by all the guys, though. Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the young gunner, the new kid on the block, Connor Kelley, just made a huge move. Tyler's new teammate, new to Houston Heat. Connor, what up, brother?
What's up, boys? This is a dream come true. You guys didn't even understand.
Let's go, Connor.
Let's go. Let's give him a round of applause here.
Let's go,
round
Connor.
of applause for young Connor Kelley.
Yes. Congratulations, bro. You've been working your butt off. And first and foremost, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to the PTG fan, PTG world. What? Where you at? Where are you tuning in from right now?
I'm in Florida, like just a little outside of Orlando. Just got a new house, so
there we go.
Trying to move in. It's pretty bare right now. We still got TVs up and everything. So
so you just recently made the move in there?
Right after World Cup. Like, it was a whole thing. My car blew up. I had to get a house. Like, it was this whole like week span of just bullshit. So it's like trying to relax now. And then Todd hit me up and I was like, whew, it's a lot of decision making here going on. So it's like, whew.
That's a big phone call. That's a big phone call, you know, and we're so lucky to have Todd, not just in our organization, but in this game as a whole, because Todd is one of the cornerstones of thought processing on how to take this thing to the next level. And the guy has worked tremendously hard in so many different avenues on his own brand within the paintball industry as a pro athlete. And we get to call that man our brother and our coach. And it's a tremendous honor to be, under his wing, because he just shed so much light and wisdom on all of us in the organization. So talk to me a little bit about that. What's your sentiment on, coming in? You got Todd as your coach. We're going to have a whole new family that you're going to get to meet and build with. And it's going to be a pretty amazing experience, bro.
I mean, truly crazy, dude. Like, from where, like, you got to think 2014, you guys were like, you were on Ironman, you were on Dynasty, you guys were doing your thing. You guys were playing across seas. Like, I was a young kid watching this on YouTube on my iPad, doing slides in the living room. Like, I'm trying to be like these guys. And to see every single Dirter video and see Todd and see you guys, and then now I'm like talking to you guys, crazy, so crazy. And now I'm calling you a teammate. Like, it's exactly where I wanted to be. These are the goals that I've set. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to play for a guy like Todd, like, I've seen all the infamous videos. I've seen all the when he played back in the day with Dynasty. Like, I've seen it all. Like, these guys are masterminds, and even playing for a team like Heat, it hasn't even hit me yet, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, you guys posted it, I was like, it still doesn't seem real. I don't know. Just
go out there and put paint on people, and we'll get this thing done. So I know you've seen Short Bus, right?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, Todd's a legend. Those are some of the funniest moments in all of paintball. Did you see me running around with 2 paintball guns on the Short Bus?
I couldn't wait to bring that up. So, like, what was the idea there? Like, did you ask? Like, was it this legal? Like, what was the play?
Okay, so honestly, this was in the All-Star game, I think. I'm pretty sure. And Frazee was right next to me in the pits, and I was like, I'm going to take 2 guns. He's like, do it. And then, or I think he might have even planted the seed, like, take 2 guns, Tyler. I can't remember how it went, but I went out there with the doubles, and I went to the start box, and the referee obviously sees me with doubled up, and he was like, Tyler, don't do it. Put him down, put him down. And then I was like, all right. So I put one down, and I had the other one in my hand, and I put the one down right at the start box where I was starting. And then it got down to 5, 4, 3, and I go and I get the other one, and I just pull up and start going, and the ref is chasing me. Tyler, no.
That was awesome.
And they tried to kick me out of the tournament, but there was no rule. There was no rule for it yet, so they had to write a new rule saying that you can't double wield out there. So I like to take recognition for that one.
I mean, like, it's great, like, seeing stuff like that, and then you're Superman, like, I don't know, dive, one-handed, cross-handed, like, stuff like that. I was like, so, like, if I'm comfortable doing stuff like that, then whatever coach asks, I could do it. You know what I mean? So that was, you planted the seed just to be as comfortable as possible with, like, playing and being in my body. You know what I mean? Like, dive over a beam if I have to, run and gun, and then dive into the snake. Like, people have to be able to do that. to
Yeah.
accomplish these goals. So it's like you guys like paved the way for the freestyle play, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah,
for
well,
everybody that doesn't
Tyler's
know,
a maniac out there. He does some stuff that's a little bit superhuman. I know exactly what point you're talking about. I think it was MAO in 2013,
Yep.
right? Tyler, was that the event where
yeah,
you bunkered? I think it was the infamous player.
yeah,
Like you passed
it was
whoever was in front
crazy.
of you on the snake side and just full send, fully
Yeah,
one hand,
Opposite
bridge the
hand.
gap, bunker the guy. It was super dope moment. Super dope moment. And then
and then
obviously won that
I
time.
did. Yes, yeah, and that was like the start of the because
Yep.
prior to that moment, people didn't know what was going to happen to Dynasty. It was like dark times during that period, and then yeah, we came through. We had Kyle Spica, Brandon Short. We joined forces with the squad, and we started making magic. But in that point, I was so mind blown because when I dove through the air and it was Patient, or no, not Patient, Templeton. Templeton was in the Dorito. And I sent one shot in the air and I hit him and I did a roll and he was shooting at me the whole time. And I rolled and I stood up and I was like, I'm not hit. He didn't get me. I was freaking out. I was like, I can't believe this.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, it was insane. Paintball is the best, dude. We're so lucky to have this sport.
100%.
I mean, when I
I
found
cannot
it,
wait
like,
to get this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I originally found it, I was like, this can't be real. Like, this is way too fun. And then started playing it, found out it was a competitive side, then found out about you guys, and I was like, what? You can have like a life
Yeah.
about this? Like, this is awesome.
So
This is awesome.
when did that start?
When before I even played. So I
Okay.
went to a birthday party, and I'm like, I played airsoft, right? So I'm like, it wasn't as fun because people were just cheating, and then there's no competitive side to it. I wanted like some structure, like a legitimate, something competitive where I can actually test my skills against other people, right? In the field, it was always sponsored by Dye. Everybody that played like Speedsoft had i4s or i3s. So all I saw was pictures of Marcelo and then Alex Goldman and these guys just running around. I'm like,
Oh, damn.
what is that? And my dad, like, he used to play. He played at the last World Cup that was in the Disneyland one.
Yeah.
Wide
Okay,
World of
yeah.
Sports. That was his
Yeah,
last event.
2008.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
you're not playing paintball. It's way too expensive. Like, you're just not doing it. I was like, I'm gonna make it free one day. I promise you. I just kept telling him that I was gonna make it free, and I would just watch videos of you guys on the iPad and be like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm running around the house with my airsoft gun, trying to pretend like do the snaps and stuff like that,
Yeah.
trying to figure out the lingo. So when I went out there for the first time, I played my like first 3-man gun breaks, first point. So I'm like running around, like watching what you
What year
guys
was this,
do.
Connor?
It's 2014.
2014. Okay.
Yeah, it was my first time playing like any local event. But I haven't.
And how
I
old were
didn't
you then?
play 10.
10.
Yeah, 10 or 11, something like that. But yeah, that was the start of it, and then I started playing locally. To get on my first team, I had to win a one-on-one. Won the one-on-one, then they gave me the respect, and I actually played like a good amount over like adults, and that was like the first time I was like, oh, like people respect me. Like, this is what paintball is. This is sick. Like, this is a team. Like, really got into like the team sports thing, and I just was hooked ever since. And then getting to this point now.
Dude, we talk about the one-on-ones and how they're life-changing for, I mean, Marcelo, myself, we've had big moments like early in our career, like you're talking about, and it has a really profound effect on the future, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
even the ones you lose, like I lost the one at World Cup to kick us out from Sunday. Like, that was the game we were supposed to win. Charlie looked at me, he's like, I told him, I was like, I'm gonna win this one-on-one. He was like, okay. Got caught slipping. I played every weekend after that. Like, I haven't missed a weekend ever since that point. Even before then, I was playing every weekend, but that was like, that lit a fire in me that I have never had before. You know what I mean? Remotivated me to like get to that next level, find the next step, find the next gear, you know?
You know, it's funny. I've talked on the show a lot about the first like really big one-on-one that I had in a tournament, and it was in that 2007 World Cup final against Kirill. And then there was same year against Zach Yakimek in a 7-man event where it went to best of 3 one-on-ones. Those were big moments that I had won, but I don't know. I must have brought it up on the show, but it actually did start with me losing a one-on-one in the pro division in 2006. I was playing with the Ironmen, and it was my second event with them. So it was the San Bernardino event out here in California. and it was against New York Extreme, actually, the old school New York Extreme guys. And I got into this one-on-one with like their biggest back player that didn't move. He didn't move the whole game. And I was attacking down the Dorito side, and I ended up putting myself in a bad spot. I put myself in a little Dorito on his side of the field. And I remember I lost the one-on-one, and like the way that felt for me at that time, letting your team down, just like letting everybody down and being kind of embarrassed and ashamed. Like, I'm the young kid. I should have the fundamental ability to beat, the old school players at that time. And that one-on-one did catapult again, just like a fire for me to never lose them again. The next one-on-one that I was in a tournament was that World Cup final one, which was, was like something had already switched. It was like, I'm not losing another one of these,
Exactly. And it's
awesome.
one of those things. It's like, this sport can bring you so high and then just take you right down. Like, we had never went that far in an event. Like, we're local. It's like, it felt amazing. We go to Sunday, we beat X Factor. It was just like, it felt good. And then that just like reset. But then at the same time, I was so appreciative of it. I was like, I even texted him. I was like, dude, thank you. Like, these are moments that I will never forget. And like, that is going to make me a better player no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and for the listeners out there, because I'm sure that there's a ton of people tuning in that can grow from that moment as well. What was it that you got caught slipping doing, and what did you learn from that moment?
Necessarily, it was the brick that was it was that World Cup event where the brick was on the snake side, just in that odd spot, right?
Yeah,
and
2020
came out 2021.
Okay.
I was a little inset. It was inset, and I was coming to wrap it, and I thought I had matched him. He went from the Dorito up to the tower on the Dorito side. And from then, I just dropped the pod forward, go to wrap, and he's already on it. I was like, I watched the other angle. The pod falls, paint goes everywhere. He just puts 2 balls. I go right into it. It's like little things of just being super predictable. And then also, like, I always try to have that element of surprise. And, like, that whole point was lacking element of surprise. You know what I mean? And it could have been the pressure. You know what I mean? I always think about it. But it's one of those things. It's like, only thing I could do about it is just get better from it. You know what I mean?
How tall are you? And for everybody who doesn't know, this young man is 20 years old, and he's making his dreams come true. So mad love to you, Connor, for all you've done and all the hard work you've put into this process, because you've accomplished quite a bit, but you've only just begun, and the journey starts right now, moving forward into the rest of your pro career. It's a fun, dude. It's the funnest. It's the most fun you'll ever have doing anything, is applying yourself to this craft. And there's so many different crafts you can apply yourself to, but paintball is just a really special one. There's something unique about the game and the camaraderie and the timeless memories that we all share with each other as a community. And deeper than that, with your teammates, when you win these events and have these crazy runs that you go on, they last forever. But, I kind of lost my train of thought where I was heading with this. So Marcelo, you want to pick up where I left off?
No, I'll go. All good. But wait, Connor, I thought you said you started in 2014, and I thought you said you were 14 at the time. So are you 20 now?
No, I was 10 at the time.
10 at the time. My bad.
10.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, damn, young gun, dude. Awesome. Yeah, I started when I was 9. I think Tyler was around the same age as well. Just young bucks, man. You have a lifetime of a career ahead of you. Talk to us about the move from ML Kings, because obviously ML Kings are kind of a fan favorite in many ways. They're one of the younger teams that have really put themselves on the map. Kyle Berry's done a fantastic job. I have a ton of respect for Kyle. Charlie's awesome. Got to play for Charlie overseas, and the team is like it had felt like the team was really making progress and taking the next step, and a team that could potentially contend on Sundays. So you being one of those highlights, other teams definitely scout for you. They know when you're on the field that you're a weapon. And if you don't have eyes on you, that you're going to produce kills, and you have to respect your game. You have to respect your attack. So being kind of, from an outside perspective looking in, being one of those kind of core members, how hard of a decision was that to accept the Heat offer and make a move like this?
Definitely the hardest. And like, for what all the other stuff that was going on while it happened, it's definitely made it not the easiest decision. It's one of those things, but I mean, Kyle's talked about it ever since it got picked up. He was like, this is what's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Don't let it kill you. Just accept it, and then know that this was the plan the whole time. And you can go. Yeah,
I was just going to say, Kyle, in my opinion, has handled this whole thing with such poise. He's been really graceful in you leaving the team. He's been nothing but happy for you, and that's not just a good teammate. That's a really good friend. That's rare in this game, especially because it obviously doesn't help his own self-interest at all to have you, move on and leave the team. And he's been nothing but supportive, in public in any video that he does. And so, I've got a lot of respect for Kyle. He has a lot of integrity, and if he told you that was the plan the whole time, he truly meant it, and he's happy to see you be where you're at.
And Kyle, he's one of those people where it's like you meet in your life and it's just like they're there to teach you everything there is to be. You know what I mean? The man I was when I came to the Kings and then where I'm at now is completely different. And Kyle tells me, like, don't thank me. You had to go and do it. But, like, he did show me a lot of paths and made things easier, helped me out. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much stuff that man's done for me in the evolution of my game itself that I still can't thank him enough for. You know what I mean? He's
Totally.
beyond happy, and it's one of those things where it's like he told me, he's like, listen, I love you, buddy, but now I just got to make another one of you. And I was like, I know you can do it. Do your thing, man. I just like you will forever be that guy that let me get to that next step and truly be a wrecking force to play on Houston Heat.
I'll tell you what, though, it's not as easy as just making another one, right? I've worked with a lot of individuals over the years, and you could take two players that are pretty identical physically, pretty identical with how much time they put in, and some just get it a little bit more than others. Some players, and especially in paintball, I don't know, maybe it's in all sports as well, I'm sure it is, but in paintball, which we can relate to the most, there's something inside of you that you have to have in order to go out there and produce at a consistent level, because it's not a pain-free game by any means. It's a game that you got to get a little dirty. It's a game where, some events are freezing cold and you gotta man up, you gotta woman up, you gotta do whatever you can to get out on that field and not worry about the elements. You got to throw your body around. You have to play through injuries a lot. Like, this sport is tough. It's brutal. It really is. And so some people just kind of have it. And when you get into the IQ side of the game as well, really good decision makers in life, I think, do better in paintball. I really believe that. I believe the best players in the game are really intelligent outside of paintball as well. There's a high level of intellect there. So it's not as easy as just making another one, but I do love his ambition in that. And, you definitely aren't just one of many. There's something special there. So
thank you, guys. That means a lot, for real.
Yeah, and it's like Marcella said, the cognitive aspect of it and being thick-skinned, being able to endure and provide for your family, for your team, is something that is hard to find, and it's not something that you can just make. And he is the man. Kyle Berry is the man.
Yes.
Great guy, cultivating so much talent in the sport that we all love. I'm actually going to be able to see him this weekend. I'm going to be in Tiki's Paintball. Okay, cool.
So Kyle won't be there Friday, Saturday. I'll be there. I think we're going to the Hard Rock Friday, so we're having dinner. So
there we go.
That's what I've been told. So
Hard Rock, baby.
I'm going to the Hard Rock tomorrow.
No way. There we go.
Straight up in Cabo, though. It's my nephew's wedding. They're getting married down there, so we'll be at the Hard Rock tomorrow.
Let's go. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend, and Kyle's done a lot for you. He's done a lot for the game. I'm excited to see him and everybody this weekend, and you at Tiki's Paintball. If you haven't signed up, go to tikispaintball.com. I think there's still some availability if you're in the Florida area. And, to have a friend like that who supports you on this journey and has helped you the way he has, and then to be so caring and, not closed off while you're going through this process, because from what it sounds like, it's not just paintball. There's life is going on as well. We have your paintball life, and then there's real life, and real life is obviously always going to take the precedence in the moment and everything that we have to do to make sure that on the home front things are good. And I'm happy to hear that you're making headway on both ends and that you have such support around you. I mean, you could not ask for better support than Sarge and Mama D. They're two of the best people in the world, and you're going to find that out real quick. And I'm sure you've been, talking with them and stuff, but there's so much love that gets shed in this camp. So we're super stoked to have you on board, brother. It's going to be a good 23, kiddo. Let's go.
Dude, I'm so pumped, dude, to be playing for them and just even to be talking to you guys in general, I'd just be hanging out just to pick your guys' brain. You know what I mean? See if what I'm doing or what I think is right. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I've spent so much time like just trying to study those dirter videos because I didn't really have like making out to CFP from where I was like a 2.5 hour drive at the time. Too much for like me at like 12, like, yo, dad, take me here for the weekend. He's like, I don't know, pal. You know, it's kind of a drive. So like we're at the local field, we're grinding, but all I could do is really just watch the videos. And like some standout moments is like that Ironman. I forget who you were talking to. It was on the Dorito side. You're on Ironman. It was 2013. You had put something together with the Dorito guy, and you put somebody in, and then he launched Steven Pitts, and you guys launched.
Remember this?
When I watched that, I was like, "That's it. That is like the next part of my game in a sense."
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I like read the book that you had and like talked to Kyle about it and understanding like the jobs, like when you broke down like jobs, like the 3 roles, like dude, that was what I thought. I was like, what's the next step? Like I'm playing Division 3 and I'm just like I'm running down the snake, getting 3 to 4 kills, getting off the field, just doing my job. That's what I knew to do. I'm attacker, attack. Find out about the jobs. I'm like, oh, now it all makes sense. Know your job, do your job, and do it at 100%. And then if everybody else does their job, you'll win the point. And if the game plan's correct. So it's just like getting to that level and trying to like perfect that is the biggest thing for me. You know what I mean?
I like what you said. If the game plan is correct. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's funny though, often even if the game plan isn't the best, but everyone's on the same page, sometimes that'll work too. Just because everybody will manage. You kind of believe in it. You know, it's interesting as well. I mean, it's so important to understand the roles. I mean, that is the next step. But then the step beyond that is understanding the roles so you can manipulate the roles, you know, and sometimes your role will change or you decide that your role is going to change because you think the other team is going to expect you to do what you should be doing. You know, like there's so many layers to this game and it's continuously evolving. Each season, it's really like the top players are kind of changing things a little bit. And there is this manipulation of the, you know, quote unquote rules, so to say, that is very important to understand. But first you have to understand the roles. You have to understand the jobs. You have to understand the probabilities, the chances, what you should be doing, when you should be doing something. And only then you can start manipulating them. Right. And picking and choosing when you do. I mean, there's times where I gamble and totally doesn't work. And I'm like, man, I knew that wasn't the right move, but I decided like kind of, you know, F it, let me try, you know?
Exactly.
And sometimes you just try to roll the dice and sometimes it pays off and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, there's so many layers to the game, dude. I that's the best part about it is it's constantly kind of changing too. And so it's, you know, who can figure things out a little bit faster. And I think that's one of the more fascinating things about our sport in particular is that every single tournament, there's a new kind of story. There's a new puzzle to be solved because of the field layouts changing, you know, where that's not the case in other sports, really. It is in like racing and things like that. You go to different tracks, sure. But in paintball, every tournament, there's a brand new field layout that plays completely different than the one before. You know, there'll be some similarities, some things that you could take from one event to another, but you know, the theory and the philosophy on the field is it changes. And so it's such a challenge and such a, you know, group think kind of therapy session that you have to work through with your friends to figure out if, you know, what you're doing is better than what the other group's doing.
That's what's so cool about the sports. Like no matter what, there's a next step. And it's like, there's 6 or 8 to 10 guys striving for perfection, but still finding what perfection looks like. And perfection's always changing. And there's like so many factors with this game. And it's just like, you can only control so many within your person. And then it's like weather comes in a factor, paint, all this other stuff, but you have to play fucking solid paintball and none of those matter. You know what I mean? So it's like finding that perfection with the team. And, you know, that's what just like this always striving for something. It just keeps pushing me. And like now playing like professional, like brought me into like wanting the professional lifestyle as in like health wise, financially, everything about life, just to be professional as it is in paintball. Like I was so tired of going to events and being like held to this standard and then come back and it's like, oh, you're still 18 and you work a labor job. Like, don't forget about that. And it's like,
Don't forget
I thought I was right there. You know, I thought I was got past you, but so
Connor, if you don't mind us asking, what do you do for work outside of paintball?
I just do land surveying right now, but it's like these people have helped me so much. Like I probably took off like 2 to 3 months last year at work, but like they're super cool with it. They help me out. They understand. I told them
Good.
about Houston Heat and they were like, "Well, this is the dream, right?" And I was like, "Yep." And they're like,
Awesome.
"Well, if you want to leave, you leave, but you're still doing your same thing. Your raise comes whenever. Just keep doing your
Yeah.
thing." I was like, "So it's
Oh,
one of
That's
those
amazing.
things."
That's
But
Are
very
you gonna stay
lucky to
working there?
find.
depending. I got some other things coming in line for financial, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Um,
Cool.
it's one of those things I had to make the decision at a young age was like, is it paintball or is it do I do all the other stuff in life? So it's like I just decided paintball, and that's less partying, less going
Mhm.
out and doing those things and like exploring those things and kind of just striving for what I knew you guys was perfection in my eyes, right? Um,
So before you go on, I want to give you just a bit of like advice that my dad gave to me when I was just a kid coming into the pro ranks, and I was super frustrated. I always got really good grades in school, and I always continued to throughout high school and college. I did some college before deciding I was just going to work and take on paintball full time and do that whole road. But what he told me, because I was so frustrated when I was young, I was like, I don't know what to do, Dad. I don't know if I should work and just pursue this or do paintball. I'm torn. And he said, why can't you do both, dumbass? You know, why don't you do both? You can work hard, can't you? He said, you can work hard, can't you? I said, yeah, man, I can work hard. And he said, then do both and stop thinking so much. Just put your foot to the ground and start working and do whatever you got to do to make sure you can handle both. And we're gonna be here for you. You got to have support, whether it's from friends or family. Somebody's got to be putting good words in your ear. Those words are timeless and they mean everything. They truly do. And that's why it's so important. That's why we project on this platform that we are here for you. We're here for all people out there because we're here to push the good words and help people make their dreams come true. That's the mission of PTG. It always will, always has been. But it's like, just keep working hard, dude. There's gonna be more trials and tribulations ahead, guaranteed for all of us. Work hard, push through them. Put your feet to the ground and keep moving and keep having fun with it. Most importantly, do we got a spillage?
Sorry, guys. No, I forgot to mute the Bluetooth thing. So I was just getting a FaceTime group call from Colton Dahl and some of the young Wrecking Crew kids.
Bring them
these
in.
guys.
Bring them in.
Bring them in. Nah, that's dangerous. There's like 20 of them on this call. What in the hell? Sorry, guys. Sorry for the interruption.
No, you're good. But just have fun with it, dude. Enjoy it all because you'll look back on this 10 years from now and be like, damn, I did that. I was able to push through when most would crumble, and really have fun with it and just keep enjoying it and keep playing a lot of paintball, which I know you have been. I've been watching some of your videos. How tall are you?
Dude, probably 5'7", 5'8", nothing crazy.
5'7", 5'8". Okay, let me say this, dude. 5'7", 5'8". My boy is jumping over the tall cake. I see him hitting eyes up. He's over the tall cake, reading the situation, coming back out, snapping. That's you.
That's
a page out of my book right there.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying,
for sure.
like, I appreciate your play style tremendously because I see what you're doing and the way that you're reading the situations and able to apply the pressure on the game is spot on. So, keep working hard. We're going to keep working hard as a team. I can't wait for you to meet the gang.
Dude,
the crew of guys.
Pumped, bro. I'm so pumped.
Oh, they're so lit. Let's go. It's going to be a lot of fun.
When do you guys have your first practice scheduled?
I think we were going to have one here like next week, but it was a little too quick. So I think we're going to be in February, maybe 1 or 2 prior to the big ones, and then rolling into the tournament, start hanging out and getting the vibes going. But the vibes are set, dude. It's a great time. We're going to have some fun.
I'm so pumped. And that's the funny thing about you bring up that playing style. I watched you do it and I was like, it's genius. But I was so short that I had to jump coming up to Aztecs. I could stand straight up and play you in a little cake when I was really young, right? So if I come over the top of the Aztec, get him to see the up top, and as I'm coming down, drop low, hit him with the snapshot. I was like, it's perfect. I'm just so short, I couldn't do it. But now I'm implementing it with the taller bunkers, and Crazy stuff.
Well, you're working harder than most. You're 5'7", 5'8". You're having to jump double time. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to highlight here is the work ethic, because I know you're working on that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, it's so important to be able to play as many sides of a bunker as possible. You know, that's just
Yes.
more variables, more options, less predictability.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
drawing attention, right? Like drawing your attention. I control what you do, not the other way around.
Yep.
I'm going to draw you up here or draw you over here. I'm going to draw you where I want you and then use it against you. A lot of players get caught getting in the traps of the other player where they're drawing them. And, you know, it's one of those things where you have to pick your battle. And Marcelo, this is actually something that I want to dive into with both of you and how important this is. It's kind of a wormhole, but it's timing and awareness in paintball, and how important it is. I would almost put it at the top of the pecking order. Obviously, you got to be a good paintball player. You got to play a good ball. You got to communicate. But timing and awareness are, in my opinion, the reason why Dynasty is seeing so much success. And I believe it's predicated on these two principles, because they are timing their moves and the way that they play points and the way they play situations so well off of supreme awareness. I feel like, you know, if there's a team, obviously, that has the best awareness, I think it would be safe to say the top three are doing it really, really, really well. But the way that tournaments are won is off of that appropriate timing and awareness. And I don't know if you want to add on to that, Marcelo, but I think that has a lot to do with the success that you guys are seeing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Awareness is a funny thing, right? It's a blanket kind of statement that means a lot in the game, you know? And so of course it's going to have a lot of weight to it as well, because it does mean so much, but awareness comes from experience. It's really hard to expedite awareness. You got to see these situations over and over and over and over and over and over. And that's how you come up with, like,
and then
you know,
some.
Yeah. And then some, right? And communication is a big part of it. Making sure that everybody on the field knows where all the players on the other side of the field are, you know. Tyler, something you always say that rings so true and is 100% about as accurate as it can be, is that you can't be worried about 5 players on the other side of the field or aware of 5 players. You need to be aware of 10 players out there. There's 10 players playing at a time, right? And so awareness comes from knowing where your team's positioned and where their team's positioned. That'll allow you to understand where your advantage is, where your disadvantage is. If you need to hold your side or attack your side, if you need to make a move, not make a move, if you need to over engage, under engage. Without knowing what your team is doing, along with the game plan, along with where you're trying to push, where you're trying to attack, where the hole is, where the weakness in the field is, how aggressive a certain side just naturally is, will play into your awareness. And like, okay, this side's really aggressive. We just lost our attacker on this side. Hey guys, you got to go try to do something over there pretty quick, or we're going to lose pretty quick over here. Right. Awareness is all encompassing in the game for sure. But I totally agree. Timing and awareness, and timing that's an impossible one to teach. You just simply can't, because it just takes years. It just takes a lot of practice. I don't know. I've tried so hard to, you know, look deep inside and be like, okay, what is it that tells me to go sometimes? Sometimes it's simply the situation, right? The clock and the score can tell you what to do. But there's other times where you're just kind of making a move and you're assuming that a person isn't looking your way, you know, and there's so many little tells that can happen. You know, maybe, you know, your player just made a move into the snake, and you know that bunker in the middle of the field that's on you has to turn, otherwise they're going to get shot in the back. And so you know your team just made it to the snake, you hear them call it, and you make the assumption that player must have turned because that's the right thing to do. So then you make your move. Sometimes that player didn't turn, and then they shoot you. You're like, what are you doing? You were supposed to be looking the other way. You know, You weren't playing right. It's such a difficult thing to explain, difficult thing to teach. You know, timing is really one of those elusive skills in the game. I don't even know if it's a skill. You know, it's something that just takes a lot of time, a lot of practice,
like
a lot of situations. Sixth sense almost. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. What's your read on it all with the timing and awareness in paintball? And I mean, obviously it's everything in our sport.
I mean, truly, like you guys said, it just makes the player, right? Like that's a
Mm-hmm.
high IQ player if you have both. But I mean, you have to be calm and confident to be aware, right? If I'm freaking out and I'm worried about the guy that's gun battling me and I'm doing whatever I can just to shoot this guy, then how am I gonna look back and be like, yo, Fedorov just
Yeah.
went to the Dorito side. All right, guy,
Mm-hmm.
roll off, shoot right before the snake, call it a day, and just call the gap call. You know what I mean?
Tuck
There's
and
little
shoot,
stuff like
baby.
that. Exactly, yeah. But if I'm calm, like I can understand those things. I can just be checking that off, just roll off, shoot the gap till I get it. Not a big deal. Understand
Mm-hmm.
it, communicate. And I think the timing thing is just angles. Kyle explained it as angles. Like you said, if the guy fills out to the snake, if my guy fills out to the snake, the I guess you guys call it the money would have to shoot for the wide guy instead of me. Now that gives me the whole inside push to wrap on this last field, go up to their little wedge, wrap it, or even wrap it, having the pin block out that guy, and not even worry about it. Now you're killing all the inside guys, then you go stab him as the last one. I think if you understand the angles based off like the field layout and like you said, you're not playing it correctly. I think you have to go off of your experience with commons. Like, all right, well, every time we play X Factor, Colt comes up, heads up, and just shoots it. And if we go wide, he just rolls off, and nobody picks up this gap in. You know what I mean? Little things like that, and just understanding that's the angle we got.
So timing, as far as playing off of your own players, is a different thing. You can explain that, and angles is a fantastic way to explain that. But let's use Archie as an example this year, right? Playing the one on the snake side all year long and not running very far off the break. That's all like raw timing. You know, sometimes making a move off of a middle play, but a lot of times it was just his ability to read when, if he could put one person in, the other person that was likely on him, because how often is it that you only have one person looking snake way? I mean, it's really rare. Often you're dealing with the person heads up, and then you're dealing with somebody in the middle that you can't see. And that was the case at so many events this year. Nobody can check this person off, you know, so you're making the gamble that player has actually looked in a different direction, right? Or you're taking the gamble that player is shooting low and Archie would go deep often, or sometimes he would go straight in. Like his timing this year was really elite. Some of the best that we've seen. I think, you know, the iconic awards have come out. You know, I'm sure he's nominated for Snake Player of the Year, which is a crazy thing for his career. And, you know, honestly, I think you got to give it to him. You know, and you can make the argument for the overall icon of the year as well, but it was all timing. You know, we never used speed to take, you know, a big bite off the break and then produce. You know, that's a little easier. What's really hard is having the timing to fight from really a back spot and make your way down the field. And, you know, there were so many situations, and this is also, again, timing. This is where like the score and the clock can kind of tell you what to do, where it's a 3-on-4, 2-2 with, you know, 5 minutes to go, and you're down bodies. Make a move, get out of that point. And so that kind of, you know, it either works or it doesn't. When it works, it's like, oh, his timing was so great, but really it was just, you just had the green light to do it and you made the move, and sometimes it pays off. Yeah.
That's so huge, that talking point that you're hitting on there. The free moves, because there are these free moves that you get green lighted on, and people sleep on them all day. And then not only do they sleep on the free move, but they, in hindsight, without knowing it, chop their own legs off in the game and miss the free move and put themselves at a disadvantage. Yeah. So
burn a lot of time, lose the point. Now you're down, you know, a point with a minute to go.
Yep. That awareness, you got to be on
Clock
top
management.
of it. Yeah, that's right. And we talk about, and I'm going to dive into this obviously this weekend at Tiki's, but there's really 5 hitting points, you know, kill count. How many have we eliminated? Ball count. What's our body situation looking like? Where are they at? How are we going to win? And then the 5th one, which is arguably just as important as any of them, is what's going on with the clock? What's the clock say? Because that really dictates everything that happens on the field. And we have to be really hyper aware and in the game, in our minds. Each player's mind has to be positioned on that clock as well. And when you have 5 players on the field with clock positioning, awareness of what's going on, like we're talking about, then you can apply that timing. Then the timing opens wide up. Now you're able to use that time to your advantage and make really amazing moves happen out there.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, Tyler. It's that's the most frustrating thing when we're watching games and you see the younger teams, and I don't mean younger in age, I just mean younger in experience, time behind the gun. You see the younger teams playing these points where it's like, what are you doing? Why are you not trying to make a move? You're just killing the clock. You're down a point. You're down bodies. You're hoping the other team gives it to you. That's what you're hoping. I'm like, why is the coach not blowing the buzzer? Why is it drives me crazy to see teams in the pro division not understand clock management, which should be a fairly basic thing, right? That should be something at the base level. The coaches should understand, but we talk about it on our team, and Tyler, I'm sure you do too. The players should understand it so well that it takes the decision away from the coach. If the players really understand it, then the coach is going to know to blow the buzzer because all of his players are dead in the, like if you're down a point, down bodies, and there's, not much time on the clock, go make something happen. Get out of that point. Leave yourself some time to play another 5-on-5. Breakout can change everything. You can shoot 2 people off the break. That's like your best chance of shooting people. People have to run somewhere. They have to be exposed for the first, 5 seconds of a game in some way. Like there's more exposure during that period than at any point in the match, I think, right? Like kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you can give yourself a big advantage there, it goes both ways. There's exposure for you as well. But if you can be creative and figure out how to get 1 or 2 quick kills, you can score a really quick point, rather than just sitting there in a 3-on-4, crossed up, waiting for the other team that's up a point to not even move, like that's like the most frustrating type of paintball to watch. It blows my mind sometimes,
Yeah. What is some other frustrating paintball that you've seen, Connor? Like, I know, here, I'll give you one for me. For me, it's when people are shooting inside instead of like wrapping low and looking to apply pressure, and they just miss all these moves. And then, I don't know, they just
and then the other team fills out to the corner, and then the person who was shooting inside finally plays the tape, and the dude that fills out to the corner shoots him. It's like, you bozo. Why'd you do that? No.
Or the worst is when they'll engage like 5 times at the same spot, turn.
Yeah.
Dude fills, then they go to engage again at the same spot, and he just comes out and smokes them. Like it's just like the little stuff too, dude.
Lack of awareness there, right? So that's an example. Yeah. That's a good example of awareness. If you're engaging with somebody, myself, Tyler, probably you as well, have the experience now to where I know if I look inside, I don't have eyes on that area. That's my blind spot. So the next time I come back into that blind spot, I'm assuming that player moved, right? I might come back to the same spot, but my eyes are like, they might have moved because I don't have anyone on that. I was the one that was on that. I came off that. Now, if I know I have a player in the middle that's on that, I can confidently come back and engage where I was. If I know that I have a player in position to watch that gap, then okay, I can come back and engage. But if I don't, then every single time I come back, I'm like, my eyes weren't this direction. A good player probably made a move. That's what I would have done. Like that's what you should do. So you have to, predict that. You have to expect that.
Yeah, when I talk to any like younger team, because like I coach some of the ML kids originally. It's like Parks. He shoots your barrel. He loves your barrel. Huge fan of you guys. He's gonna be pro very soon.
Awesome.
100%
Love
agree.
that.
He's like 10, running around bunkering people, like stitching them up, dude.
No.
Nasty, dude. Nasty. Me and him 1v1, and he just runs at me, like smoke, like changing hands, comes and bunkers me. I'm like, dude, you ran from the back center to the stick corner.
We need his first and last name. Give us the details.
Park Stancil. You'll see him at the clinic. He'll be there.
Dude, that is awesome. I can't wait to see him.
He's like this tall, dude. He runs around.
Wait, did you say Stencil?
Yep.
Is his dad's name Tyler?
No, Stancil.
Yeah,
Stancil.
Tyler Stancil.
Yeah, I think that's him. Did he come to the summer camp? Yeah, it was Parks.
Yep. Little Parks.
Yeah.
Yes.
That kid's dope.
He's
100%. I know what you're talking about. That kid's dope. His dad's awesome too. Major shout out to both of them.
Oh, dude, he's the man. Maxim,
absolutely.
They're killing it. Those are the next upcoming kids.
Yeah.
I just break it down to him as the more calm you are, the better your decision making will be.
True.
Parks' biggest problem is he just wouldn't breathe, and it was just because of the pack. So I would just have him do snaps at targets, but he would just tell me about he'll tell me about Fortnite or something. But the whole time, next thing you know, he's talking for 10 minutes snap shooting. But like the talking is forcing him to breathe. So
Yeah.
now when we go and he's not even tired, but after like a point, he'll get real tired. I'm like, dude, just don't forget the breathing. All you gotta do
Mhm.
is breathe,
Yeah.
and then you can make those moves and actually be calm enough to think about this stuff. Like you
So
guys were
true.
saying, like if you're not calm enough to look over at your boy and be like, oh, he's got it, I could shoot on the inside, not have to really worry. And then I can come back and know he's still in that spot. And if he's ran
Yeah.
through the gap, then I'll know my boy's gonna call the next call. Um,
Yep.
it's one of those things. Everything resorts to just being calm. I think like the more calm and the more confident. I think if you're confident, you get comfortable, then you get confident, right? Once I was
Mhm.
comfortable making these moves, like with my body and going left to right, diving left and right, then I got confident. And it wasn't like the cocky confident; it was just the confidence, right, in myself to
Mhm.
actually play with these guys. I think I can hang. Once I had confidence, then I can actually have the time to be like, all right, I'm calm enough to think about this. I don't have to worry
Yeah.
about, all right, well, fuck, I have to dive into the snake. Do you think I can even dive on this grass? Like now I'm playing at CFB every weekend, diving through sand, not even thinking about it. I'm just looking, and the
Yeah.
biggest thing is like looking back up at the dude, like as you're diving, like being aware of the field. You can't do that unless you're calm, confident, and comfortable.
Hmm.
I think that's the
That's a
main thing.
great
That's what I
point.
always tell them. You know what I mean?
Such a huge point right there, man. You're spot on, Connor, because if you're not calm, you're not collecting as much information. The ears, we say this all the time,
Tunnel vision.
90% of my game, yeah, people will get in the eyes and they get locked into the eyes, but you really got to open up those ears because you're going to get a ton of information, not only from your teammates, from the paintballs, from just these weird nuances that you pick up in sound. You know, you can just read energy almost through the sound of what's going on in the paintball field, and that comes from being extremely confident and being calm and being open and receptive.
Yeah.
When you're too in your head and you're all riled up and you know you can see that the wheels are running a million miles a second. um, you know, you just got to take a breath, and that goes for life too. This is
Yeah.
way deeper than paintball. I'll tell you, taking a good few minutes to breathe
In through the
deeply and
nose, out through the
wholly.
mouth. Yep.
Yeah, and actually studies have shown that all nose is really the way to go.
Yeah.
There's over 6,000
I
different
love that. That's the
breathing
way I do it.
yeah, there's over 6,000 different breathing techniques. So you can dive down a rabbit hole of breathing techniques, and there's so many powerful ones. But predominantly, as you're living your day-to-day life, you want to be breathing in and out of your nose. It's all nose, and take the time to really open up the chest and get some big breaths high and push all that air out. Push it all out till you have nothing, to where you feel like you're gonna gasp for air because you have no air, and then that your body starts to, on a cellular level, kind of change, you know, because of this deep breathing on both aspects. And it goes straight into paintball. It's so difficult to run around, yell,
Yeah.
be calm. You're getting shot at by 100,000 paintballs. You know, it's
Losing your
madness.
mind. Yeah.
So it's a juggling act.
And that's what's so nice about this sport. I mean, like the amount of stuff that it's taught me about life. Like when bad stuff happens, like it's the greatest, dude. Like I enjoy
Mm,
it because it's like, all right, I'm gonna learn. This is the best time to learn, and if I can just keep it moving in these bad times, then I'll just keep learning and I'll be good. And that was only because of paintball. Like, all right, dive the snake off the break, got shot. Well, why'd you get shot? Well, you weren't looking at the back center. You didn't know what route to take. Like you weren't looking at his paint. You didn't see he was shooting low. You got to go around the corner, or just have multiple options. Right? Those are the
yeah.
audibles. Wasn't until then. It's like I don't know, it's that step, you know. But it
Hmm.
just in life it has helped so much and
Agreed.
every aspect of it. Now being pro, like motivating me to just be pro in everything, you know.
So we
It's a
have,
big thing.
yeah, we have a bunch of the Discord's lit. Shout out to PTG World. If you're not in there, you're missing out big time. It's cracking off. We got a bunch of questions, but before we get into the questions, I do want to kind of dive into your divisional story a little bit, and how you cut your teeth to you know, make the way into the ML Kings camp, and then obviously now that you're on Houston Heat, we're going to be rolling with some steam into the future. But I would like to dive into the nuts and bolts of how that all kind of came to life and brought you here at 20 years old to be playing for Heat.
Well, I had like a local field in New Smyrna called XPlex, and I was like playing there every weekend. They helped me out a lot, like helping me with paint. I would like ref one day, play the next day, and I'd be cleaning down the fields, and then that's when I would go out and do my drills. But I didn't have paint, so I'm just running around the field. I'm young. I'm like 10. I got my imagination going crazy, so I'm like pretending I'm shooting at you guys or like talking with these guys, trying to be like trying to have the style of somebody else so I can get that comfortability down, right?
Yeah.
I'm playing at a New Smyrna, and I'm playing like D5 at the time, right? And we're at the MVPS league, and I'm like playing. I'm going through the event, and one of the events in Daytona, I pulled off like a 1-on-5. It was like something like crazy. I just like came out. The guy runs down our snake. They didn't really know I was in the 40 Dorito, so I'm just coming around. There's a dude there. There's a dude here. Like, so then I do that. I don't think anything of it. I'm like, all right, we just won the point. We didn't win the event, so I'm fucking pissed. Next event comes. Things happen. We don't win. And then I go into the next season like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then somebody hit me up. It's like, yo, come play D3. And it's with my guy Juan Cardona, and he's the man. Like he
Yeah.
taught me so much stuff. And we're playing with Foci. We win like 2 events in a row. It's like the first time I won anything. I was like,
How
oh,
old were you at
so
this moment?
I was 16, I think, at the time. So this is like
Nice.
the big jump. Like I was playing a lot like locally, but this the whole time was locally. I've never left the state until the first year on the Kings, like playing paintball. So I'm playing like at
Oh,
MVPS, and we win our first 2 events. I get the All Star, and I get the MVP of the All Star, which is pretty cool. Like the first year in D3. Next year, go to D2. Played you guys at the Combine, the Winter Classic. I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
I was on
snap.
Foci, and you were coaching the Team USA kids. I think it's the
Okay.
19U or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
It's the
U19.
it's,
Yeah.
Nina and all those guys, like pretty cool dudes. Jackson Fry. That was like the pinnacle moment, like playing in front of like Matty Marshall, Jason. I guess there was a lot of coaches there. It's like playing then. And then from there, at that event, I played against Kyle while he was playing on Killers, some semi-pro team, or now semi-pro team, but they were like D2 at the time. And me and him were like having standoffs, and Jose Navarro was on my team originally, right? And then mid-season, Jose's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go play with the ML Kings, and I was like, texted Kyle immediately. I was like, yo, bro, where was my spot? Like, you told me like hold out
Where's
on
my
you, and
spot?
you know what I mean? And I was like,
Yeah.
I'll 1v1 whoever, I'll do whatever, I'll dive over whatever, like whatever you need, I'll be there. So he texted me one day out of like 4 or 5 months later. He's like, yo, I got that tryout for you. And immediately I quit my part-time job. I'm doing online school, so I got a full-time job, got a new car, started driving 2 hours to practice every weekend in preps for this, like at CFP, just to play in front of these guys and everything. And Kyle's like flying back and forth from Italy. So at this time, I'm like getting like not false hopes, but like there was like some groups that was supposed to be like the new Kings. And then that changed, and this changed, and then now there's a tryout. So I'm like, okay, just went to the tryout, and that was like my goal is just to like be the best guy there, not make the team. I just was trying to play the best paintball, be the best paintball player there, and play me normally. At the end of it, made it, and didn't feel real. It was just one of those things where it's like, wow, this is the step, but it was one of
What
those
year was
things.
this?
2021. This was at the Florida Invitational when they like did those at the beginning.
Gotcha.
That
Yep.
was that was my first technical pro event. It didn't really like hit me because it's one of those things. It's where here's your goal, and then here's all the other stuff that comes after the goal, but it happens to be a lot longer than what's back here. I had like my 8-year, 9-year process, but now I have my 15 to 20-year process ahead of me. And honestly, I plan
Yes.
on playing as old as I possibly can. Like I made the decision at a young age. I made all these options. Like the job I work is like I don't make that much because I get so much time off, but nowhere else that's going to pay me what I deserve is going to give me that time off. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. It's like rob Peter, pay Paul, but I'm playing paintball at the end of the day. That's
Hey,
you know what I mean?
dude,
That's
that
all
was
that
dope.
mattered.
He
I mean,
just
dude,
pulled
like,
out an old school
Dude.
saying, rob Peter to pay Paul. My
Pay
dad
Paul,
used to say that.
But
How
then
do
he
you know
said, "But
about
I'm
that
just
saying?
playing paintball." Let's go,
it's
dude.
Boom.
That was
The
Out
kid
of-
is hot.
out of everything that goes on in this world, the only time I feel like Connor Kelley is when I'm playing paintball.
yeah,
It's just the time, you know what I mean? It's always fun. I'm in the moments. Like that's
yeah.
the one time where I feel like time slows down and I can actually like control certain things and these factors that just and it's so
Mhm.
motivating to like go out, get a little 4 or 5 pack against like some of the greatest paintball players in the world. It's like you come home and you're like, I'm the man. You know what I mean? You come back in the pits, you're like, you feel like you just brought the village food. You know what I mean? It's like, boys, we're good. You know, I took care of it. It's like, there's like,
Oh,
Damn, dude, you have a new fan in me, man. Holy smokes. Ty, you got a great new teammate here.
I love
like
him.
it. And I think the important thing, Connor, like you said, is the next 15 and 20 years. You know, a lot of people are celebrating your move to Houston Heat, but I actually hope that you're not celebrating it too much because the work is really just beginning. Now it's time to really, you know, put up or shut up, put the work in, you know, be a good student of the game and be good teammates of those guys and see where you can take this, you know, but it only gets harder from here.
exactly. And that's what's awesome because like, wanting the professional of everything, it's like, all right, well, now I have the cream of the crop professional paintball team. Like, I go here and just play perfect Connor Kelley paintball. That's my job, to play good paintball. No matter what's going on in life, I could be sad about something. I go there, do my fucking job on the field. You know what I mean? And I love that shit. From the beginning, I was like, I'm going to make this a job, as in, like, I'm going to do it full time. I don't care if I'm getting paid nothing or I'm getting paid a lot, or even not getting paid at all. I just want to do this full time. I want to do it all day, all week.
That's the dream. Are you kidding
me? It's the dream, dude. It's it's so
Yeah.
crazy.
And
like,
it keeps you young, kiddo. It really does, man. This game is something. I don't know what it about it is, but you know, it's so good for you on so many different levels, you know, physically, mentally, and the tribe camaraderie. We always talk about the tribe. Paintball is one of the greatest tribes on the planet, and the community as a whole is one of the greatest sports communities there is. And this is just the beginning for us in this sport as well. It's such a young sport, and you know, you're the future. You're the young buck coming in and going to be helping to spearhead this into the future and teaching the young bucks that are coming up behind you how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
and that's the biggest thing, is like, I always remind myself, I'm like, dude, this sport hasn't been around for that long. Like, there's going to be that next step of the evolution of the game itself, beyond the players, beyond how we play and how we structure everything. Like, look at the NFL. Like, it was a beer league for a while, and nobody really saw it anywhere. And the next thing you know, you get $1 million contracts from it, like crazy. So it's like the ceiling is limitless, and I just think it takes these really good people. And that's the thing I love about this sport. It's like, it's huge, but like, say I fuck you over, Tyler, then like I fucked over so many connections in millions other places, right? So it's like, it's just one group of just happy people, in my opinion. Like, we're playing paintball. Don't be mad. Just be happy. Dude. Like, that's what I always say at practice. I'm like, dude, I get upset sometimes. I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, I'm playing paintball with the boys. Like, what's the big deal? Like,
totally. No, it's good to have that. And then on the flip side of the coin, having that fire in the belly, you know, having that will and that drive that nobody sees, and that all that work that you do in the fucking pitch black night that nobody sees, you know, having that fire, but in the same breath, being ultimately just super grateful and happy for the journey and the opportunity that we have to play this amazing sport, because we're a few of the luckiest guys on the planet sitting right here on this show right now.
I mean,
100%.
for like, this sport makes me cry. This sport makes me be happy. Like, this makes me feel like the best man in the world. It makes me feel like the worst guy in the world. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like, it's always, but you kind of figure out what it's going to give you from what you got to do. And you're just like, all right, I want to do that every time. Like, I'm going to strive for that perfection and getting to that level.
It stretches you. It really does. It gives you the ability to, you have to be flexible, you know, and I don't mean physically, I mean mentally. You have to be flexible. And being flexible mentally is one of the most valuable skills I think a person could have. You know, it's the only way to really learn new things, be open to new ideas, be able to grow. And this game really forces that upon you, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, you know.
Well, I mean, like, look at the matches, like, from what you play from point number 1 to the finals. Like, you've seen it every event. It's never the same thing. The millions of nuances you find, like, it's all those different things that just, like, where's the next step? Like, we're always striving for something, you know? Love it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So what are your ultimate goals? I think I know the answer to this, actually, if you've all but said it. But, you know, at the end of the day, when your career is done, What do you want to have accomplished in paintball?
Someone has got to outbeat and outplay you, Ryan Greenspan, Oliver Lang, like the goats. Like someone's got to find the next gear past you guys, and I want to be that person. I want to be the one that cracks whatever code there is and just understands that this is what it is and this is how it's going. But like, thank you guys for giving me the motivation to want to do that. You know what I mean? Like from you guys, I was like, all right, I watched the videos and like, all right, I'm deciding like this is what I'm gonna do. Just 100% to whatever life brings. I'm gonna make sure paintball is first in a way. I know it sounds terrible, but like for the longest time, didn't worry about a
Sounds great.
relationship. Yeah, wasn't worried about a relationship. Wasn't really like worried about friendships. Just like paintball was number one priority. If you didn't understand it, then cool. I'm not worried about it. I'm still doing my thing. I'm traveling the country, having like the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. Like
That's right.
I'll tell you what though, Connor, Tyler and myself are no strangers to that, right? I actually just hung out with one of my best friends of all time, Tyler. You know Gino.
Shout out Gino.
We've been best friends since like 5th, 6th grade. But I don't see him that much. In 2022, I probably saw him like 7 times. He lives in San Diego, you know, but every time we see each other, it's like he understands and he's always understood. And I have a very close group of friends that just understood, you know, what it is I do, what I was chasing from a young age. And yeah, I missed out on a lot of parties. You know, I did a few semesters at a junior college. I didn't really have the college experience, but my goodness, I was traveling the world with my paintball brothers, my paintball family, paintball best friends who are really just my best friends, you know, traveling the world, playing a game and chasing something that I'm incredibly passionate about. Right. And so the trade-off, you know, there's times where I go back and I'm like, you know, yeah, maybe the college experience would have been fun, or maybe I could have pursued this. And I'm like, no, there's not a single thing I would change. And actually all of these great things have ended up coming to me in the right way because I'm doing what I love and I'm comfortable with it. And so when stuff fits, it fits. And then it means that much more rather than forcing, you know, other stuff or saying, you know what, I'm not going to pursue what I really love so that I can make time for this other stuff. Then you end up resenting almost yourself because you're not actually doing what you really want to do. That's so important. That's so important. So, you know, it's very, very important to be mindful and aware of the fact that you need to be able to make a living to support yourself and support, you know, a family. If that's what you want, you need to be able to do those things. You want to make sure that you're well educated, whether that's formally or informally, you know. You don't have to go to college and get a degree just to be educated. You can read on your own. You can learn almost whatever you want now on the internet.
Exactly.
If you want to be a doctor, an attorney, you know, something like that, then you got to go to school. If you want to make money, you don't have to go to school, but you do need to be educated. You need to be smart. You need to know what you're doing. You need to understand business, and you can monetize anything, really. You truly can. That's something that my dad had always taught me. You can monetize anything. Figure out a problem that is, you know, relevant to a lot of people and find the solution. That's not a concept that's, you know, foreign to many people. People understand that. But if you love what you're doing, it makes everything so much better. It truly does. We don't get to live on this planet for that long. You know, say you live 100 years, it goes by quick. I'm telling you. And as you get older, the years go by even faster. And if you're stuck doing something that you don't enjoy, I really encourage you to do whatever you can to start piecing together a life that you do enjoy. And I'm not quite speaking to you right now. I'm speaking to the listeners, you know. It doesn't mean quit your job abruptly and say, I'm just going to pursue my passion, but start doing something. Spend an hour every evening, you know, with a passion project, trying to break yourself away from something that you don't like. You know, don't live your whole life not doing things that you truly love. And as for, again, just missing parties, you know, not, you know, going out on the weekends, not going to all the stuff that all the kids your age are going to be doing. That's what it takes. Because if you do get caught up in that, unfortunately, there's other players that are putting in more time than you, and you're just never going to pass them, you know? And the unfortunate thing with paintball for now, somewhat unfortunate, I don't know, is that there's no guaranteed salary. As you know, you turn pro with the ML Kings and it's not like, okay, I'm good now. You know, the NFL, the NBA, golf, all these other sports, like once it's okay. You can justify along the way all the sacrifice because you're like, as soon as I make it, okay, I'm well off. I can support myself. That's not the case with paintball. You will get a ton of, experience that you really can't pay for if you start traveling internationally and teaching and things like that. But you need to understand that there's ways to monetize. I heard you say you're coaching. You do a little bit of coaching already.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yep.
Fantastic. There's ways to monetize this game, but first you got to become really good at it. You have to build your own brand. And I know, I'm sure Kyle Berry has schooled you a bunch on this. Kyle's fantastic at it. He's done a great job. Again, Kyle's somebody that I've really come to admire. I'm sure he'll listen to this show and be proud of you for, really how you've represented yourself. But that's the way you have to do it in this game, at least for now, until hopefully one day there's bigger sponsors and there's more money in the game. But for now, if you want to chase a professional career, even if you're on one of the highest paying teams, you still have to hustle. You have to work. You have to treat it like a business. You got to, again, build your brand, but it can be done. And that's the thing. And I love that you've kind of full sent and you said, I'm all in and you're going to make it work however it works out.
And that's the nice thing, because that's been such the motivating factor. This past year, I've been trying to take on more responsibilities, as in being the guy that talks to sponsors on the Kings at the time. That's how I built the relationship with Todd. Me and him would text all the time, just talking about new designs and stuff like that. Always just trying to get my foot into the door with just the whole industry. I'm just trying to make paintball everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I just always talking paintball, always just thinking about paintball, there's no complaints in my life, man. And the fact that you can make money off this from doing a service like clinics or doing a service like design work, anything videography, pictures, even just playing. There's guys like Fedorov,
Absolutely.
These guys people don't have to worry, but just the fact that it's coming from paintball is the greatest thing. You know what I mean? And if I can create a system that is self-sufficient and financially profiting, you know what I mean? That'd be awesome. That would just
and you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out as you go.
I feel like if your income comes from paintball in any fashion, it 3X's your income. You know what I mean? It's okay, if it's 50 grand, it's really 150 grand, it's cause it's so satisfying in what you're doing. If it's, 100 grand, okay, it's 300 grand. I'm gonna roll with that. You got the 3X multiplier.
Exactly.
And that goes with anything that you love doing. I mean, it truly does. I just wholeheartedly believe in that.
I just want to hit on something that sparked my brain when you said it. If you live 100 years, you know what I mean? Think about this. 30 years of it is spent sleeping. So you really only got 70. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So enjoy.
Some a little more, some a little less.
That's right. Some a little more, some a little less, depending on if you're doing the 7 hours, 9 hours, 8 hours, depending on what you're getting there. But roughly 30 years of that is spent sleeping. So really,
but bro, I got to push back because I lucid dream a lot. And there's something going on. There's something
you want to put these on? You want to put these on?
There's something
Let's go.
going on. We got the hat.
No way.
Dream talk.
Oh,
all right.
Oh, how do I get this thing on?
Talk to me about the Lucid.
All right. All right. There's something going on to where that's another life. It's real life. I'm living while I'm sleeping. I'm experiencing things. I am experiencing things. I know this. And I mean,
it's not just
at the end
sleep.
of the day, what's reality? It's not just sleep. It's not just wasted time. I'm not just wasting time, And if you're somebody that doesn't dream, I think you need to start learning about dreams and figure out how you can activate your lucid dreaming. Mine came from, we've talked about this on the show before, but mine came from a nightmare that I used to have, a recurring nightmare when I was a kid, that Darth Vader was chasing me through our house. It was wild. We won't get into the whole story, but I trained myself to recognize when it was a dream. And so I remember vividly the first time that it happened, where I had the awareness in my dream that I was dreaming. And I was like, wait, this is a dream. I'm in control. And I changed the route through the house that I was running at, right? I would change because the first 15 times it always ended with me going in my parents' closet, which in real life was small, but in my dream was huge and had a McDonald's playpen in there with slides and stuff. And I would go up to I was 4 or 5 years old. And so I'd go up to the top of the slides and slide down, and Darth Vader would be there and catch me every time. And so it started by me changing my route.
At four, you were having Darth dreams?
Darth dreams? That's bad.
I was 100% not older than 7. So it was between 4 and 7.
Okay. Wow.
That's not a good way to
wild.
wake up.
6?
No.
Yeah. No, so it went from me being able to change my route in your dream, which that as soon as you're aware that you're dreaming while you're dreaming, you're lucid dreaming. That's why like psychologists say and dream specialists say that, you know, if you go to bed thinking of if you see a light switch in your dream, flick it on and that'll activate lucid dreaming. That's like how a lot of people learn how to lucid dream. And, you know, you'll be in your dream and you'll see a light switch and be like, oh, I'm supposed to turn this on. You'll flip the light switch and you will be aware now that you're dreaming and you can kind of like manipulate that realm. It's very, very fascinating, to be honest. And so anyway, I taught myself out of fear. And then it came to a point where I could realize I was dreaming and I could force myself to just wake up. I wouldn't even have to finish the dream. I would literally just like wake myself up. It's crazy. But my point in all this is that that's another life. There's some stuff going on there. There's some stuff going on there. We don't need to dive down the wormhole of
I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
dude, I have to tell you about this insane dream that I recently just had. Cause like you're talking about lucid dreaming and the power of knowing that you're awake in the dream.
Yeah.
There was this bird, this huge, I'm talking like 8 foot tall or maybe 10 foot tall eagle. And it was whipping around me, just flying and doing circles. And it was flying in a way where it wasn't even using its wings. It was chilling on its back, like reclined in the air and whipping around me just like that.
Give me the eye.
Yeah. And it's this spirit animal. I don't know what even was going on in this moment, but I'm freaking out. I'm like, do you guys see this eagle? Because there's people, I'm like telling them, you see the eagle? Look at this thing. And then all of a sudden, this eagle drops out of the sky and it's huge and it shakes the earth when it lands, and it lands behind this tree. This huge tree it's behind the tree. I know it landed behind the tree because I saw it drop out of the sky. Boom, it's behind the tree. All of a sudden, this eagle pokes its head out from the side of the tree. Boom, like just looking at me, on me, and walks up and turns into an old man. Old man, and then says some profound insights to me, and then gets into a car and drives away. And I was, I woke up and I was just like floored, completely.
Somebody
floored.
slipped some psilocybin in your
losing it. Yeah.
But the words that this guy told me and the feeling. So what we're really hitting here is on the feelings, because you're still highly aware and you're having feelings and you're experiencing reality in sleep, quote unquote sleep. You know. But there's so much going on, and we'll kind of close the chapter there, but there is a lot going on in
I'm fascinated about dreams. I remember when I was a kid, my dad had told me that he like religiously studied dreams for almost 7 years. It was a crazy thing he was interested in as well. And dreams have always to me been really just I think one, we don't know what they are. It's like one of the few things in the world that we're just totally unsure of. Like scientists and dream specialists, they have their assumptions, theories, but there's no concrete evidence of anything or what they mean or what's really going on that makes you have these hallucinations or these experiences. But it certainly feels real at times, and if you can kind of manipulate the dream and learn from it, that's some form of living in my book. So
it's like
anyway,
string theory.
we can
like
close
parallel universes.
Yeah,
or something. I don't know what's going on. But let's dive into the Discord. We got a lot of fun stuff popping off on the Discord, and the people are stoked to pick your brain about your new move. And the airwaves are lit right now. Connor has moved to Houston and people are going crazy. So I'll open it up. We got Bortega 0073. He's wondering, joining the H-Town team, what Houston classics have you been listening to? You tipping?
Dude, I'm not up to date on the classics, man. I've been living under a rock.
Well, that's okay. Because we got Devin Stewart. We're going to game you up with Devin Stewart. He's the H-Town Lord. He knows all the classics, so we'll get you gamed up.
Let's go.
I love it. All right, Todd Boyer. Shout out to Todd Boyer. Another young David. We got to get him on soon, by the way. He's
Yes.
he's been saying it's time to get him on. Shout out to Todd.
Yeah.
But and you did kind of answer this, but we could be a little more concise because it got a lot of love on this question. So a lot of people want to know. Connor, my question for you is, why are you so good at running and gunning? It seems almost every clip of you is running with your gun up. Is that something you developed because diving at your local field is a pain, or is it because that's just your style?
I don't know. So when I was young, I would run a lot, but I would just look because like I wasn't the best at running gun. But I'd always see people just fucking off, right? You just have people doing it, loading pods like this. So I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
it's so more efficient to get those kills like this. And my dad, like, he's a professional shooter, and he just showed me, like, you just lock your shoulders, keep the legs moving. I locked the shoulders, kept the legs moving, and that was my thing. And I got really good at like just hitting that running gun, like coming out, feeling wide, and then going up. And it just, after that, I don't put my gun down. I think it's pointless. There's always somebody somewhere. You can always hit a nice 2-ball to the slide, or like that's why it's good getting comfortable. Like you hit the running gun to the dive, like you're unstoppable. If you could just put paint back at anybody and still run at speeds of Chad George, Alex Goldman, and still see the paint, comprehend where
Not
it's coming.
Marcelo?
Well,
not this elite
Marcelo,
level speed? Come
Marcelo,
on, man.
Marcotte, everybody. Oliver Lang, like, you know what it is.
You know what it is, he says. Hey, leave the OG out of this, all right? He came back a little slower, but he was fantastic. He was amazing.
I still can't wait to pick his brain, dude.
Well, you can listen to
him for a couple hours. Dude.
Yeah. We've gone on the rabbit hole with him on here. You got to listen to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I like that, kid. You're right. Shoot, run and shoot.
Mm-hmm. And what Oliver's taught us is that speed isn't everything, you know? The timing and awareness is everything.
Is everything. Yep. Timing and awareness.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
The speed certainly helps, though.
Oh, most definitely. Especially for those lead attacks. We got to have the speed. But really, it's that good team ball, that timing and awareness, and you're going to put points on the board every time with that. All right, we got, let's see, we got aim_CR in the PTG Discord. How do you think your play style will fit in with Heat?
So that's what I'm excited about, because it's like I'm in that point of the career where it's like no matter what my play style is, I always feel like I'm ready for that next step of evolving. And I have 8, 10, 11 guys that are just masterminds at this game, including Pat, including Todd, the whole team, to where it's like no matter what, I'm just going to absorb as much as possible. And if that completely changes the way I like flow in the game, it's for the better. You know what I mean? There's no way that these 11 guys are telling me something wrong. Like, let's be for real. We pull out the spreadsheets. We've seen the past. We've seen the history. We know, like, it's going to work. So it's like if they adjust my game for a specific reason, like, I could just see that for the better of my game. You know what I mean? I'm always open to evolve. I think it's the biggest thing, and the biggest, especially in the time, because it is a small or it's not open for so long. It's like, where is that next step and when? But the biggest thing is being open for it for when it comes in and just attacking it full force.
Yeah. Absolutely, brother.
Right answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We've got Osborne for this. He goes, Connor, it's time for a one-on-one at practice, but if you lose, you have to shave your head. Who are you picking to face off against? And this is with your new teammates on Houston Heat, by the way.
Why you got to do this too?
Any of them.
Hey, got a lot of love.
Yeah.
You have to
listen.
You have
any
to
of
pick
them.
one, buddy.
Oh,
you have to pick one.
Listen, if I'm going ball due to a one-on-one, it's because of Fedorov. So I'm playing Fedorov, and if I win, then I got nice hair because I beat Fedorov in a one-on-one. But if I'm ball,
you got to go with the best one-on-one player on the team. It's right here, T-Harm.
Come on, I don't want to lose that bad. I don't want to lose to a one ball over the top. Like it's. Like,
I'm not.
Come on, dude.
It's all hype, bro. I'm lucky. I get really lucky. That's my thing. I just
so lucky.
Luck out.
I wish I got as lucky as you sometimes. Yeah. Lucky.
All right, let's go with Rounder. Connor, how excited are you now being coached by Cash Money himself?
So pumped, dude. Like, just like I said before, watching the videos, like all I've seen is this guy on YouTube, and just like hearing what he's got to say, and like knowing, like hearing the motivational chants, like this guy's pumped people up, and just like he's the man. You know what I mean? I've seen like the top coaches, now meeting them, and I can't wait to see what Todd has an experience with me. We've been texting back and forth, talking on the phone, and I'm so pumped. The dude's the man, and he's telling me how great it's gonna be. I'm fucking ready, dude.
And he's fucking hilarious.
Hilarious, dude.
Todd's
Hilarious.
the man, dude. He truly is.
He's one of the best guys you'll ever meet. Even ever since I was a kid, the guy has inspired me to be the best paintball player that I could possibly be. I would watch that video Push. If you haven't seen it, watch it on YouTube. It's for free. And you could see young Cash Money in the mirror, tying his headband, going crazy. And he's like, just jacked to play paintball. And that inspired me from such a young age to even have like the passion and the energy that I have moving into the game.
He just
100%.
loves everything about it.
He does, dude.
All right, we got Chad Figs. He goes, Connor, bringing fresh eyes to the pro field. What do you feel the missing piece was for Houston Heat last year, and how do you plan to be the difference maker in 2023?
Listen, I'm going to give you the humble answer, and that is the only answer I have, and that's I've only been playing pro for 2 years. I don't think I'm in any room to say any of that. I truly couldn't tell you exactly, but at this level, it is inches to miles. Like, we are talking about the smallest, like, couldn't read, you didn't make the right read, didn't see the guy fill out, you didn't see the black paintball coming through with the black netting. Like, these factors and these different if-thens, like.
You guys got black paintballs out there?
CFP, bro. You never know what's flying at you, dude. It's silver, black, orange. I can see that one, but I can't see the one right behind that one. So
yeah,
it's CFP, bro. You never know,
dude. I've been shot with rocks. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
that real quick. That was a great answer, Connor, in the right one actually. Way to handle that one. See, we're testing you for like, the PR. You're gonna have a lot of PR coming up. You're gonna be doing interviews with Lauren Kelley. You got to act right.
Dude, even this, I was amped for this. I was like excited, and I was like, oh, am I nervous or am I excited? Like, it's gonna be my teammate. I don't want to think I'm weird or anything.
Dude, you're the man. PTGs, we got the best energy in here. It's all love for paintball, man.
Oh, this is great, dude.
I actually do want to pick your brain on the color of paint. Do you think it's important that we move to a brighter shell paint, or do you think does it not matter?
It definitely has a difference, right? I distinctly can tell you, all right, that's a lane coming. I could just do this if it's orange, and if it's purple, it's a little bit difficult. But if it's purple, it's purple. We all have to shoot purple. If it's orange, it's orange. We all have to shoot orange. Let's just keep it even. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, we're still playing paintball. That's just another factor on top of the 1,000 other we have to deal with.
So you're seeing it from a player's perspective, but I'm seeing it from a product. Like as a product for the viewers, for people watching paintball, do you think it matters at all?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you that I personally, I do believe that it does matter. And I think it also gives another layer to our sport, which could make players even better and even more appealing to watch when they jump over a stream because they read a stream, or they go under a stream because they read the stream. And it makes it to where the viewer actually can see that now. But I just kind of wanted to pick your brain. I kind of one-sided it a little bit because I'm getting my agenda across. But I really think it's important that we move towards a brighter shell paint. And for no other reason other than the product of the game that I love so much. I think that the product needs it personally.
Which I agree with, because I mean, if we're looking at this in the getting it out there stance, like, let's see what's being shot at each other. Let's see what these guys are ducking under, diving over. Like, we don't really know what's going on. And that was a big thing. The next step in this game, right? It's how we actually view what we're doing. Kyle's girlfriend, perfect example. Could not sit in the bleachers to save her life. She found it so boring. We're playing in Texas at PB Fit. It's the Astra tournament. And we make it on to Sunday. They get kicked out first match as per usual, right? It was our running thing that season. So she's like, I want to go play. So we're like, okay, cool. We go to the side field. She's running points. We're running around. She's in this 50 snake shooting people.
No.
From that moment on, she does not leave the bleachers. So I almost think and
Oh, I
believe
love that.
that
Yeah.
it's like you have to experience it through the lens to understand, like, all right, it doesn't look how it looks like when we're looking in the bleachers, but when
Yeah.
you're behind those bunkers and everything becomes that, like, there's the wall of bunkers, you got to find your different gaps, and that's what we're looking at. I think that's the next step. But how do we do it?
Yeah.
That's what I've been trying to figure out this whole time. It's like, what is that next in the camera? I think it's just camera angles, realistically. You know what I mean? But if that's a mix of like POV, but then we got like the hoppers in the way. There's a million different factors, People are putting their guns down. There's mud. Like the list goes on.
Yeah. No, it's an amazing game, and I love that your thoughts are processing in that manner. You're looking towards the future and seeing how we can make this product better. Because I know anybody who loves this game is going to be thinking that way and trying to give this sport more light. It's one of the greatest sports in the world, and it's so difficult. It's so difficult.
Yeah. And that's the best part about it. And that's funny because like I saw Tom call it an ICPL and like talked his head off. I was like, why can't we build like elevated bleachers and everyone could look down like a stadium? He was like, we need permits for that. I'm like, what's a permit? I'm like just the whole nine. I'm 18, just like, why can't we do this, this, and this? And he's like, well, this is why. But coolest dude ever. Like,
Yes.
I sat down, we just
Tommy's
talked
amazing.
for like an hour, and it was just the nicest thing ever. And just get the
Yeah.
reassurance of like what we're doing is like for the future, because like there's the future in front of me, like Parks, like he's the next in front of me, and like it's just so cool to see that stuff and like how he cares about all that future and how you guys care about it and what you're doing here. And like if Parks comes up and he just has Spotify rolling all day, next thing you know he's a super genius about paintball because he listened to you guys all day. So it's like you guys are doing so much for the sport that it's amazing.
Thank you, brother.
It's all love for the game, man. All right, I got a great one here. This is kind of in the same line here. With outside sponsorships being such a big convo with the growing of the game, when can we expect to see the Head and Shoulders ad that's dropping soon?
Who's that one from?
That's from Tad Parker. Sorry.
Oh, there we
Listen,
go.
For the longest time, I tagged Pantene in every post I made. Sent them texts, sent them videos
Smart.
of me. I'm like, come on. I got before I cut it. Like, please let me get the sponsor. Then I cut it. I was like, it's getting too hot.
Dude,
But
you never
I
know.
tried. Never know. You never know.
You never know.
right.
I think you got to keep trying. It's like people often
Yes.
quit just before the grass is going to break through.
Exactly.
You know, just keep watering it. That grass is going to poke through. Keep going. Keep going.
Gary
Keep
Vee
tagging.
says.
Keep sending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I'm tagging every single thing that I see you is straight there.
I'm on it
That's
too
awesome.
now.
I'm about to start hitting that Head and Shoulders then. That sounds more.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
we'll switch it up. We'll hit that up.
Sorry, Pantene. Could have had him.
Yeah, fuck Pantene.
All right.
God.
Whoa. Jeez. We might still like Pantene. All right. They might still be down. Maybe not now. All right. Kalen, inspired paintball. He goes, Connor, which one of these superpowers would you choose for playing paintball? A, you can see through bunkers. B, invisibility, but marker pack, mask are visible. C, read opponents' minds. Or D, speak telepathically with your team. Oh, my answer is
We gotta
clear on
think.
this.
Yeah, if you do the telepathically, like you got answers all day from coach. But if I can read their mind, I think I'm reading the minds. Because I'm like, all right, snake off break. He's doing the inside route. Shoot the inside route. That's a kill off the break every point. We need a couple kills. I'm
Bro,
reading minds.
all I want to do is see through bunkers. Literally, I don't know if you ever played digital paintball back in the day, but there was a thing called wall hacks. And if you had wall hacks and you could see through the bunkers, you can't lose. Like,
Yeah, that's a good
you
point.
literally
That's a good
can't
point.
lose. You can't lose because you could go to like a corner bunker and you just whack. They're coming down the tape, whack. They want to make a move into the snake, whack. Oh, center's looking left. Here I come. Oh, like, dude, seeing through bunkers would be
That's a
the
good
mega
point, yeah.
superpower of all time. Because you could see everybody. Yeah, I don't need to be telepathic. I have all the information. I see it all. Like literally
Especially with
every single piece.
These bricks in the way. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm going with A on that one for sure. What about you, Ty?
I mean, I would have to say, just due to the digital paintball brainwashing, I'm already in there with the bunkers. The invisibility would be pretty cool too. You know,
Yeah, but
like
your
I could
gun
have.
and mask are
I'm
visible.
a master with the hip shot. Shout out to Yard one time. You know what I'm saying? I'll be up here. with just looking and at least I have my invisible head up checking stuff out, and then I can
No,
make
your
moves and stuff.
goggles are visible.
Oh God, never mind. Chalk that up as a loss. The goggles, yeah.
Yeah. Your
No
marker,
way.
pack, and mask are visible. He says
It's definitely see-through bunkers. Yeah.
it has to be. Yeah, I mean that. Like, if
Yeah.
you could see through bunkers, you could be the best. Talk about timing and awareness. That
Oh,
solves
man.
timing and awareness.
You solved it all. Yeah.
That
the
solves
next step.
timing and awareness right there. That is it. If you can see through
Yeah.
bunkers, you have the best timing and the best awareness out of anybody on the field at any given time.
Straight up.
Oh,
That's
man,
facts.
that's great.
All right.
All right.
One of my last ones is from the GOAT, the OG GOAT, the astronaut. If you didn't know, we have these new exclusive chat rooms in PTG world that you can attain by being like a good community member and being active in the chats. And young Stevie is one of the few astronauts that we have in PTG world. And he's wondering, you kind of went over it a little bit, but he's wondering the driving force behind leaving the up and coming young pro team, that was the Kings, for this established pro team. And then what you plan to do to impress Coach Todd and earn spins, which, I don't think that you have to necessarily impress him, but he's wondering what you're going to do to earn spins necessarily.
I mean, like I said before, I've only been playing pro 2 years, right? With that being said, you guys have the opportunity to, as long as I listen, so it's up to me. As long as I listen, I can get molded into whatever, right? So as long as I'm just listening, I think, and learning what Todd has to say and not just letting him, because, dude, Todd's got to put time into the team fully, and then now he's putting time into me. I can't let that just go to waste. You know what I mean? Then it's just, he's wasting his breath. He's never going to do that again in his life. Next person. You know what I mean? I can't let these guys down. It's a big risk in my eyes, in a sense, and if you look at it on paper, so I'm not letting nobody down. I'm just going to dick in the dirt and just listen, dude. Learn as much as possible. And coming into this, I looked at, like, where do I see myself in 10 years with this goal? Where do I see myself in 15 and then in 20? Someone's got to be the next Oliver Lang and excel past that. This is one of those steps to get to that point, right? Well, can't turn down an offer like this. Like, just Houston Heat in general. Like, nothing money related, just paintball, dude. With Houston Heat, like, greatest team in the world other than Dynasty on paper, but greatest team in
For
the world.
For the listeners, he gave the air quotes and the wink on the screen just to let him know one time.
And then Stevie was also wondering the driving force behind making the switch, because a lot of people are kind of caught off guard. They're like, damn, ML Kings are right on the verge, and obviously you got to do what's best for you at the end of the day. But going from that story to the established pro team, what was the driving force behind that? That was part of his question as well.
Just find that next step. Find what it really is going to take to be one of the best. And I have to surround myself with the best. It just makes sense. If my goal is that in 20 years, then doing this now is the right move in any sense or any universe, whatever, where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, this is the play all day. And the guys that love me for it, you know what I mean? They completely understand. That's the biggest thing. I never want to burn any bridges. The sport's like big, but still small with connections. So it's like my biggest thing is just being the pro I always wanted around, and then the person I always want around in my life now. You know what I mean? I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want people to know me like that. I don't want to be like those guys that people are like, yeah, he's kind of shady, that legit check on Facebook BST. Like, I want like 100 comments that are like, that guy's the man. You know what I mean? Like, just one of those things. It's just not that I care about what people think about me. I just know that in some point you have to worry about what people see when they see you, right? Like, if you want to bring us to that business standpoint, I can't be walking around like an asshole and trying to make deals with new people and trying to make like money in certain ways that people are looking at like, you're an asshole. You're not touching my money. I'm not going to invest in you. What's the point? So it's like just building the relationships and just being all around nice guy. I don't want to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, you're on the right path. You're on the right path.
Thank you.
Love it, man.
Well said, dude. I have one more question from the Discord. It's from Dynasty Shadow. He wants to know, do you have a New Year's resolution?
Just a better last year. I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I try to find, I kind of go in like 2 to 3 year intervals, and I just want to make sure I find me 2 years ago embarrassing, right? That's how I know I'm on the right track of evolving, right? I
That's a good
plan
way to
on,
put it.
after 2 years at Houston Heat, I should look back at the way I've been playing, the way I've been living as just pitiful. You know what I mean? This is the year where I think it's me of taking that next step. I don't really do the New Year's resolution thing. I just use it as a time frame. Like, all right,
Yeah.
it's the end of the year. Next to
Totally.
still the same game plan.
Yeah.
Nothing's changing. Like, let's go. Let's fucking get this shit. It's got a new number on there. So.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, you got
Awesome.
a good outlook on everything, Connor, and we're excited to see what you got in the 2020
He's got a
season.
good head on his shoulders. Head and shoulders.
Ah, there we go.
That's the ad right there. That's the video.
ad.
Thank you, man, for that. Like, that means a lot coming from you guys. You know what I mean? Just like I said before, watching you guys on the YouTube to like now having this conversation on your guys' podcast. Like,
Yeah. Well, you
playing
earned
for
it, bud.
Houston Heat. Like,
You earned it. You earned it, and just stay humble, keep working hard, and keep doing the necessary steps that I know that you're doing. And you got a bright future ahead of you, a really bright future, with the type of framework of thinking that you're working with right here. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this paintball world. Thank you for pouring your heart and soul and passion into this game. And I can't wait to run alongside you on the paintball field, go do some slam dunks, double bunks, the whole deal, wops, the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get it active in 23. And before we let you go, I do want to do a shout out we're doing a GOAT giveaway on the PTG Instagram. So everybody out there, go tap in on the IG, check that out. And then we want to get your socials as well.
Yes.
And let everybody know where they can follow you.
Just follow me on Instagram at CK Paintball, and then that's just about for everything. And then
All right.
Facebook's Connor
Boom.
Kelley. And just
Followed.
Let's go.
Got a new fan, dude.
Let's go.
All right. Here we go. Damn, 10K. Look at you, bro. Look
Dude, I
at
posted
you.
a barrel cam video and I got 12.3 million views, and I got that in like 3 days. I was like, and that's when I just kept posting reels after reels after reels. Yeah, that's when like the first reels start coming out.
Yeah,
dude,
exposure right there.
Here. That's tight.
Nice. It helped me out so much with like the brand deals, because I do like brand deals with like mini social now, so it's like different stuff on the side just to get my name out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Trying all the different avenues,
Mm-hmm.
You're crushing it, dude. Very excited to see what you end up doing with this opportunity. Again, I'll say it again. And I know you know. I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know, but the work is just getting started, right? So
exactly.
don't be satisfied. Got a lot to live up to. Houston Heat is a legendary organization. Got a lot of the best players in the world around you, so it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. Let's go, Connor.
All right, everybody.
So hyped, dude.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
All right, everybody.
See you soon,
Well, yep. As always, see you soon. Peace.
Peace.
All right, I told you guys that was an amazing episode. Connor is the man. Really, really bright, young individual. Excited to see what he's going to do in the pro division with Houston Heat, as we've already seen him with the ML Kings, but now we can see him unlock his full potential, and very excited for the upcoming season. As always, everybody, if you would like to support the show, please head over to ptgpaintball.com. Click the Patreon link. It's the orange box. And with that, if you sign up at any level, you can get access to the Discord. But if you become a GOAT, you get exclusive channels in the Discord. You get an exclusive monthly meeting with Tyler and myself that have a ton of giveaways. We literally gave away a paintball gun, a bunch of jerseys, Hormesis headbands, all sorts of amazing stuff last month. If you missed the GOAT holiday party, well, you don't want to be missing out this year too. So get signed up, join us in there. There's a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of paintball talk. It's an amazing community. And thank you all so much for the support. As always, we'll see you very soon.